Hi there. I'm back. I wanted to hop on here really quickly to share something that's been on my mind a little bit, and I just had a conversation about this with Irena, who's an energy healer and an enlightenment coach and a business coach and an engineer, and anyway, just aware of many hats. But her and I were chatting about this, and I was reflecting on this yesterday. This idea of measuring health. And so, yeah, just wanting to ask you, or you to reflect a little bit on that, inviting you in to think about, how do we measure health? And we have all of these objective measures, right? Like we go for blood work, and we see that our ferritin is in a certain range, and or is it our blood pressure? Healthy is within this range, and anything over that is hypertension, and anything under that is hypotension, and so we've got these objective ways that we can measure our health. We've got high tech stuff. We've got MRIs and X-rays and CAT scans and weight scales and all of these different pieces that really will measure health objectively. But then where does that leave us subjectively? How do we measure our subjective level of health? And so I want you to think a little bit on that, because in my post yesterday I was asking you, like, what if every time you looked in the mirror to kind of like fix your hair, and maybe that's maybe you're not a hair fixer, but what if every time you looked in the mirror to fix your hair, you actually thought a little bit about, how am I feeling today? How's my heart? What's on my heart? How am I feeling? And similarly, what if you checked in with yourself on a regular basis about, where am I hanging out in my thought processes? What are the stories that I'm telling myself right now? What do I have playing on repeat? What's that broken record in my head telling me? Is it cheering me on? Is it knocking me down? Is it loving? Is it kind? Is it compassionate? Or is it the opposite? So getting clear on where we're hanging out mentally, right? Both the stories that we're telling ourselves, but then also, the feelings that we're having. Are we feeling energized? Are we feeling joyous? Are we thinking joyous thoughts? Are we feeling depleted and defeated? Are we feeling kind of low? Are we feeling really worried and panicky and anxious? And checking in with that, honoring it, trying to understand it. Not just compartmentalizing it, but really looking at it and seeing it and trying to connect some dots there. And similarly, just aligning and connecting with purpose, knowing that health doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? We can't talk about physical health in isolation from mental and emotional and spiritual health. Like, all of these pieces are interconnected. And not only are they interconnected, but we have the ability to check in with them in a way that a lot of us don't cash in on. A lot of us don't maybe create time or space to do some of that checking in work. And what I want to invite you to do is to reflect on that a little bit, because sometimes I think we feel like the answers might be out there, that health is an outside job. There's an expert that's going to tell you exactly what you need to do, and then that is how health is going to show up. But I promise you that being a naturopathic doctor, I definitely want to help you with those pieces. I definitely want to help facilitate that transformation and that wellness journey for you. But I know that in order to do that, health is not what happens when you're sitting in the office with me. Health is what happens when you walk out of the office and you start implementing changes and checking in with yourself about how those changes are feeling. That is where health happens, right? When you start taking actions on a regular basis and then checking in with yourself. How does this feel in my body? How does this feel in my digestive tract? How is my nervous system feeling? How's my sleep? So becoming experts in our own human experience. And again, I want to say that in a way that really invites you in to think about this, not in a way that's like, oh my goodness gracious, like now she wants me to check in with my heart and check in with my head and check in with my bowel movements and check in with my sleep. And then who has time for any of this? And so, no, it's not I want you to do all of this at once. I want you to start thinking a little bit about your expert status in your own health and wellness journey, because you have answers if you pause to listen. your body is whispering to you. Your mind is whispering to you. A lot of what you need to do, you have the answers. It's just creating time and space in order for those answers to come up to the surface. And then again, once you have the answers, once you know what it is that you want more energy, you want better sleep, you want a different body composition, you want more muscle mass, you want less mood instability, like whatever the thing is that you want, then we're able to access it. But you need to know that it exists first in order for you to take action on seeking out the support that you need in order to facilitate the healing from that symptom. So anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying, I really want you to be in the driver's seat, to be empowered in the knowledge and the wisdom that you have, knowing that there are tons of people in the health and wellness space surrounding you, myself included, that will facilitate that process for you, but that ultimately it has to start with us, right? The decisions that we're making every single day are either supporting us, moving us closer to where we want to go, or moving us further away. And so, again, if we know that that is true, then health doesn't happen inside of doctors' offices talking about it. It happens when we walk out of their offices and we start practicing it and we start implementing changes that are going to move us in the direction and checking in with ourselves and making sure that we're moving along on the trajectory that we want to. So anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope that resonates. If you have any questions, reach out as always. Anyway, thanks guys. See you soon.